That's the back of your head, Gary.
Oh, hello. Hello. Again. It's yourself. It's yourself.
It's yourself. Were you distracted with those balloons, Gary? You would think it was a party or something.
I know. I remembered the Christmas show that we had, and I thought I'd put some lights up just to have a wee celebratory evening to myself amongst friends.
Friend Gary.
Show 54, Andy. It's quite a milestone. Show 54.
Show 54, but it doesn't quite work out mathematically. But Gary, tonight is a very special night for Paisley Community Chat Show, is it not?
Yeah, it's the longest running established chat show in the history of Paisley chat shows. We have reached a milestone.
We have. Gary, can you believe that we've been doing this for a whole year?
No. No.
For a whole year. Keep turning up and watching, Gary.
I know it's quite bizarre what's happening, or what has happened. What's happened to my lights? I've got this thing here that just goes into birthday party mode. Look, it's quite cool.
You'll be getting Cool in the Gang on shortly.
There's an idea. One of my favourite songs. I tell you.
Oh,
way back in the day, that was one of my favourites. That kicked off my whole music collection, Cool in the Gang celebration. Loved it.
We can't
play any music.
We can't play any music like that tonight, Gary, because we'll end up in Facebook jail, and we've been there before, and it wasn't very nice.
We can't have that. If folk tapping us in the shooters going, "You're off a quiet tonight, boys."
I know, absolutely. Well, listen, folks, good evening and welcome to our 54th episode of Chat Show and our 1 year birthday, our 1 year anniversary.
A 1 year. So it's not a birthday because we weren't born. I was thinking about that earlier. A birthday is when you're born, and we weren't born. And so what actually did happen?
There was this thing that started back in Wuhan, Gary.
Yeah. Somebody will write a book about it.
Oh,
and we might be in it. We might be in the book. These two Hoffwits for Paisley just thought, let's go in and have a chat show.
Oh, listen. Well, we've got a few of our regulars in tonight. We've got Mr. Stewart. Oh, what's happened there? That's a fancy new thing.
Well, I passed a module earlier, Andy. I clicked a button.
Oh, did you?
See if you get into the what bit is it? I'm seeing that this is your this is a bit of training for you.
Oh, is this a bit of there we go. That's
so you got there to that bit and you click on that bit. So if I click that, it goes to that.
Oh, look at that.
And if you do that, it goes to that.
Oh, I quite like that one. Well,
nice. And if you do that, it goes to that.
Well, let's stick with the boy in the bubble.
The bubble boy. The bubble one. That's quite good, isn't it?
That's no bad. I like that, Gary. So we've got Paul's wanting to start a sing-along. Paul, listen. Tonight, not only is tonight a recap of the last 12 months for what we can remember anyway, but it is also the opportunity for you all, or any one of you, to join us live on the show tonight. So if you want to join us on the show, Paul, if you want to come on and sing, I'm not sure about the singing voice, but if you want to come on and sing, I am pasting the link into chat right now. So that should come up.
Well done, Andy. I was wondering how that happened. I didn't get the paste the link module. Maybe that'll come in weeks to come.
So we've got Paul in tonight. We've got Sharon. Hello, Sharon. How are you?
Hey, Sharon. Hiya.
Elise is getting the party started.
At what time is it over there, Elise?
New York. So it's 3 o'clock, is it not? Round about 5 past.
In the morning? That's how your accent there. I'm good at them.
Was that Welsh or something, Harry?
I'm good at the Welsh. 3 o'clock in the morning? Totally awesome, man.
Oh, fantastic. Gary, lots of love coming in from you need to wait.
No cigars. Let's see how the night pans out, Andy.
We'll have to just wait and see. Who else have we got in tonight? We've got a whole stack of folk in tonight.
It's good to see people saying hello and ex-guests who are always welcome. Everyone's welcome tonight. Come on in.
Absolutely.
Say hello.
Councillor Divine is in this evening. We might have some results that will be interesting for Councillor Divine later on.
All for fun, though, Andy. Don't forget.
All for fun, not scientifically.
Question of the week. We'll reveal all later on. I'm really interested.
Look, and our names have changed as well, Gary, on this new Scotland module.
I put them in the bubble Scotland module. Pretty cool, isn't it? Hold on. I've got this here under my desk. So we're here on the 54th show of Paisley. What are you doing?
I'm putting it back.
54th show of Paisley Community Chat Show, and we're going to have a wee look back. It's a retrospective. And Andy, I've got something I wanted to ask you.
Go on.
That word of the week last week. Have you got a word of the week this week?
Oh, the homologate from last week.
Homologate.
No, I've not got a word this week, Gary.
I've got a word.
Go on.
I've got a word. I love this word. And it's concatenate.
Oof. Concatenate. Use it in a sentence, Gary.
I'm going to add that box to that box in Excel and concatenate them together. Because that's what it means. So I've given it away. Concatenate. Anyway, forget that last 10 seconds. Does anybody know what concatenate means?
I can see me not using that on a regular basis at all, Gary.
I use it, Andy. See, when I'm in a meeting and we're talking about data and Excels and all that, and they go, I'd love to be able to do that and that. I go, listen, guys, just concatenate it.
Just concatenate it. Homologate your concatenation. Could you? Is that even a sentence? Have I just sworn in a foreign language, Gary?
Well, subsequently we could miscombobulate that one.
Well, listen, before we crack on with the show, because there's a lot to cover tonight. This is our year special, and we started off. I think it was actually the 6th of May. Is that right, Gary? The 6th of May was our very first chat show. It
was the 4th or 6th.
I think it was the 6th, because if it was the 4th of May or May the 4th, I'm sure we would have been full of Star Wars puns.
No, we wouldn't have been.
But you know how we've got this
half of it might have been.
You know how we've got this rather funky intro? Well, our first one, folks, for all of those that perhaps didn't see the original intro, I'm going to show you how it started off. Are you ready for this, Gary? Blast from the past.
Go for it, Andy. Go for it. Click the button. That brand has, what's the word for it?
Evolved.
It evolved. The brand has evolved, Andrew.
That was rotten. That was absolutely rotten, Gary. But it was the first one. And
first show was interesting.
But then...
a 45-minute show planned. And we went a wee overrun. we set a tone, Andy. A wee overrun.
Has to be done.
But the guests, Andy, well, what about that? I mean, we always talk about guests, but the guests set the tone on week one with Caroline Gormley and our Lady Provost, Lorraine Cameron, on the show, and set the tone for the whole show. And I've got to say, I mean, see if you captured me, I was probably rabbit in headlights going, what the hell's going on here? What we doing?
Oh no, we've been in quite a journey, Gary, and actually we've got. I've got to thank Gavin Divers, because Gavin's been doing a lot of work for us over the last couple of days, going through all the past episodes of Chat Show, pulling them all together. So, folks, we're going to play some videos this evening, bits and little clips.
Yes, we are.
That caught our eye, and we're going to come on to caught my eye or caught your eye, Gary, in a moment. Yeah, so thanks to Gavin for pulling all that sort of stuff. But just a reminder, folks, if you want to join us live on the show tonight, you can do that. And all you need to do is follow the link that I'm just pasting in. Let me just do that. So all you need to do is click on that, and that will take you into the black and white room.
Yeah,
But
so the format of the show is slightly different tonight, Andy, because we are retrospectively looking back. Is that a double thing there I just did?
I think because you've retrospectively looked back, and you're not looking forward now, Gary's, if the two negatives cancelled each other out.
Can't wait, whatever it is. But we'll keep trying to keep a bit of what we do in the show, and stuff has been catching my eye. So we'll do that whenever it suits you, Andy. But
Well,
how many videos have we got retrospectively looking forward?
We've got Hunners, Gary. So what I'm going to do is talk about the house band that we signed up, and we showed the clip earlier on about the first intro, but then we signed up a new house band, a band by the name of Tom Maguire and the Brassos, and they put together this little funky tune, which we asked them kindly if we could use for our intro. But I've got a short clip of what that entire whole piece looks like, and I thought I'd play that for you now. So here is Tom Maguire and the Brassos. Hopefully we don't end up in Facebook police on this one, but this is where the Paisley Community Chat Show theme tune comes from.
Are we in a jail?
I don't know. We'll find out later on. I think we're still good, folks.
I thought they wrote that for us.
Absolutely. We'll need to wait, Gary, until we're back out in the real world, and then we could get them on as our house band in real life, Gary. Would that not be great?
Well, they could be our house band on our tour. Our chat show tour, which is gathering momentum as we speak.
Oh my goodness!
Because we're out to make things up. It's called Presenter's License.
So, Gary, moving on with one of our regular spots for
what do you want to
our fantastic regular viewers. It's what caught your eye this week, Gary?
Well, you've caught me out. Caught my eye. So this is just a regular thing that we do. What's caught my eye? I'm going to try and remember what's caught my eye. Yes, here's something that caught my eye. Whilst hanging about the shops of a weekend. This one caught my eye, Andy.
Oh.
This sadly is a picture of the internals leading up to the food court in M&S. And it's the staff are busying away, but they're busying away taking everything out. And that front
Paisley,
bit, that's in Paisley. So that front bit is almost decimated now, Andrew.
Wow.
And we got to the till, right? I'll put it back up. We got to the till, so we're up there and got my foie gras and other things that we get, a wee prosecco and a foie gras. Is that how you say it?
I'm not that posh, Gary.
They keep it to the side for me because they know I'm out in every week. Truffles and foie gras. So we went up to the till and they were at pains to tell us, that's us shutting at the end of the month, son.
So Marks and Spencer's closing their doors for the last time in Paisley High Street at the end of the month, Gary.
End of the month, yeah. 24th of May, I think the lassie said to us.
24th.
I'm still a son, by the way. It's quite cool, actually, when you get to a till in there. All right, son, shutting the end of the month, by the way.
Oh, well, and listen, folks, we've talked about the new food court, or the new food hall that they're building. We had a question of the week based on that. And of course, we've also talked about the future of the High Street, because Marks and Spencer's, that unit has been acquired by the new people who own the Paisley Centre. Myself and Gary have spoken to them a number of times, and although there's going to be some short-term disruption to the high street in terms of it closing, the long-term picture is really bright, Gary, isn't it?
It's looking no bad. I mean, we will bottom out, Andy. I mean, there's no doubt about that. Paisley will bottom out as far as retail's concerned, and that's just the way it is. I think I've concluded there's no use fighting the direction of travel as far as retail is concerned. It's on its way out. Shopping centres are on their way out, and we need to just face up to reality. And a new high street, a new town centre will emerge.
Emerge. I'm completely with Jackie on this one. Love my Percy Pigs.
Yeah. But on the subject of a new town centre emerging, I was out a wee walk earlier today. And I spotted this, Andy. This caught my eye. So this is good news. So if you recognise that, that's one of the old mill kind of finishing thread bleach places down next to the river. Across from Cannes, if you remember Cannes, the pub in the corner there in Forbes Place, way back when I was a lad.
Aye.
Right there in the corner, for sale, has now got under offer on it, which is great news.
That's positive. That's
positive. Really great news. So with that one happening, Andy, and the one up in the corner, so the one up in the corner are going to be flats and a wee retail restaurant thing at the bottom of it. And that one just slightly further down, that wee strip at the riverside is going to be regenerated. That's going to look pretty cool.
And that was because there was talk about a hotel going in there at one point, Gary. And
there was, Andy. Aye.
There's no doubt a hotel in Paisley would be great. You know, town centre based hotel. If anyone's thinking of that as an option, that would be fantastic, obviously. But do we know if this one's been under offer for residential or something, Gary?
Don't know, Andy, but I'll do a bit of digging.
Well, we'll see what comes of that. So that caught your eye. Good stuff, Gary.
Yeah. I'll come back in subsequent weeks.
To
discuss. So that caught my eye, and as I was walking down there, so this isn't so good. So there's the riverside flats and whatever else that may become.
Aye.
This also caught my eye. Now that at first glance you think, oh, that's nice, a wee arty picture. It's at an angle. It's at an angle for a reason, and I'm glad you didn't use your photographer's license.
I didn't want to straighten that one up for you, Gary.
Because the point of the picture is the tyres and the gunge that's sitting there.
I can see that.
Yeah. So right where the flats and that redevelopment is going to happen is rubber tyres and some clatty water. So there's an issue with a river. I mean, that bit there, Andy, where the wee island is, used to be not an island.
Aye.
That used to be a free-flowing river. There was no island, and then there was an island with a bit to the side of it.
Aye.
And now it's homogulated itself, and it's just a big dollop amok, which is unfortunate. And
that's usually where the you see the swans kind of nesting and all that sort of stuff, but no with the tyres that are in there. We've highlighted that before, the tyres getting thrown into the cart, and it's just it's a shame, you know, because you know, with the exception of that, Gary, you know, it's great to see Paisley in sort of springtime. You know, the cherry blossom is out, the leaves are starting to grow on the trees. It's nae raining, which is no too bad. But yeah, letting us down a wee bit. But listen, as we know on the show, we've got some fantastic people who go out and clean. We've got the team up to clean up team. We've got the folks that do the kayaking and various other things. So, you know, there are some good community groups out there that do some great work, Gary.
Yes. Unfortunately, the swans are using the shopping trolleys as their nest. So there's a wee bit of work to be done there. And the kayak guys, to their credit, did a wee job and gave up because they felt they were flogging a dead horse. But there's an effort required there. And so there's Eddie comment. I remember it used to be dredged. And maybe we need to have a strategic approach to our river and in our waterways.
Absolutely.
There you go. I'm getting dead serious here.
Oh, no, this is meant to be a light-hearted celebration, Gary, tonight.
Well, talking about light-hearted, this caught my eye.
Go on.
Here we go. Here's a new slot. A new slot. See if you can spot the 8 differences between these 2 pictures. Can you spot them? It might take a bit of time because you've got to kind of look around the screen and look at different things. And if you've not got it yet, there's something wrong with you.
No, you've got me stumped on that one, Gary.
Can you not see the 8 differences?
No, I've not got a leg to stand on.
No. Has anybody seen it? Let's see if the viewer has caught up with the idiosyncrasies of the new slot that we've got going on in the chat show. So spot the 8 differences between these 2 pictures. There's nobody said it yet. No one's spot on yet. So we've had a few guesses. But nobody's quite spot on. I noticed something. I was looking at the wee seagulls and the feet on the hen there, and I thought, I know what's happening. What's happening with that? What's the differences? There you go. Maybe we'll come back to it.
I mean, that's a challenging one, Gary. I think we've all exhausted our mental capacity after watching Line of Duty this week.
Well, I'll take that off. A wee bit of light-hearted, just to bring some light-hearted humour back to the show there, Andy.
Well, listen, Gary, a very couple of things, because I want to play some of our videos that we've got lined up. A couple of things caught my eye, and I know we're going to come back to maybe 1 or 2 of your things that caught your eye, because I'm just looking at the list. But, Gary, guess where I went on Friday night?
Round the corner.
I did. I went round the corner on Friday night. I went round for my tea.
Timing.
And there's me on the opposite end of the menu, which I thought actually was quite a large, full menu. And well done to the team at the Glenaffer for opening up. It was a lovely meal, lovely interior. Yeah. The staff were rushed off their feet because it was so busy, and there was outdoor boozing areas, indoor eating areas, and outdoor boozing and eating bits.
Oh, that would confuse me.
They had it all going on. It was quite something. And Gary, it's dead handy because it's just round the corner. It's amazing.
That's amazing. It's not around the corner for me though. If I go around the corner, I've nipped in the bottom of the road for 6 nuggets, but I'd need to get down in the motor and join about a mile long queue, depending on what time of day it is. But that's another issue.
Well, listen, Gary, we're going to go to one of our very first videos. And this will be a wee trip down memory lane for some of you who've watched the chat show over the last year. I thought you were sleeping there, Gary. You had your eyes closed. Did you nod off?
Aye. I had to set my alarm for 7:59.
Jambo, Gary. Jambo.
Still here.
Oh, Gary, I'm hoping to be still here throughout tonight's chat show because my internet is plugged in, it's been rebooted, it's working fine. So hopefully... Hey, we're back again. How you doing?
I'm great, Andy. That tune just gets to me. It's really good.
You taking selfies, Gary?
Oh, sorry, Andy. I'm being distracted this evening.
Would you look at that, Gary?
Holding your breath, Andy.
I'm holding my stomach in, Gary.
I'm holding my stomach in as well, Jake. Folk are wondering what's going on.
I had to get an extra wide-angle lens for this shot, Gary, but I thought
Don't
you just love that, Gary? Here we are back.
To that, Andy, that's just a great tune. Where can we get that?
If you just look at the ticker along the bottom, another big shout out to Tom Maguire and the Brass Holes. Gary, it's Wednesday night again, Gary.
Show 10.
Show 10. Is it already went to double figures, Gary? Gary.
We're here. We've actually made it.
We made it. Have you put another 50p, Gary, into the Wi-Fi meter?
Andy.
It's me, Gary. You were looking the wrong way there.
I'm looking the wrong way.
How are you doing, Gary? You alright?
Hello.
Technology's working, Gary.
So now we've got Janine Duffy and Elaine Wells. So we're first
there they are.
Andy. Drew and Tally.
Hi, everyone. Daryl, how you doing?
I'm brilliant, guys, brilliant. Thanks for having us on.
The FM's one of the station's directors, Norman Ross. Come on, Norman.
Hello.
Hi, Norman.
I'm absolutely killing myself laughing here, you two.
I'm with this. Who's pressing the button?
You! I'm doing the drumming.
This is an awful long minute, Gary. Our poor guest is waiting for a moment to come on the show, and I'm just going to preempt. Oh, there we go.
There we go. 2050.
That was nerve-wracking.
Is the founder of the page, Mr. Gavin Divers.
Way!
Let's get our guests on. Jamie and Sandy from the Paisley Craft Beer Company.
The other halves are here. This one's from my other half, Gary. Claire Campbell.
Here's the band.
Hello, looking good. Your other half, Gary, was oh dear.
Oh yeah.
Most recent trustees. Hi, Annette.
Hi.
Annette, you get the really bad deal tonight because you get no food.
I noticed.
Bring her into our virtual studio. Caroline, can you...
Hey, Caroline.
And
Hi, Gary.
Caroline, how are you?
At this late hour, we've still got an action-packed show ahead of us.
An action-packed show ahead. That's almost professional. That's like TV stuff. That's pretty good, isn't it? That's pretty good. I wish I had that food with me the night, Andy, because that was magical. That food that night.
Oh, that was great. That was the Burns Night special where we had Helena, who's one of our trustees, but also a demonstrator chef in her own right, was cooked us some of the most amazing food, wasn't it? There was haggis paroka in there, Gary, wasn't there?
No, there wasn't any paroka. I don't remember that. If it was paroka.
Oh, there was a whole sorts of things, a whole lot of things in there. It was brilliant.
Oh no, that was the haggis bonbons, Andy.
Haggis bonbons.
Haggis bonbons and a whiskey dip. It was magical. Haggis paroka would be just the business, but there you go. That's for another show into our second year of chat show.
Oh, so, well.
Are we actually in the second year of chat show, or is this the end of the first year?
I think this is the end. I think this is the end of the first year, Gary, and as you say, episode 54. Although I think we've broadcast 53. There was one episode that we were going to do, which was Halloween, but something came up and we weren't able to do it. But when you take a look back, Gary, we produce all the posters each week and we advertise. And listen, a big thank you to everyone that shares, likes, comments on our social media posts, because when we post up the posters, this will give you an idea of just how many brilliant guests we've had on the show. So without further ado, I'm going to click another button, Gary, and just sit back and watch a quick recap on all of the shows that we've had.
Click the button, go for it. So, Andy, that looks amazing when you put it all like that and all.
What a body of work, Gary, I think they would say.
That's amazing. And have you counted them all up? How many guests has there been
Well, if we've done 53 shows, Gary, and I'm just going on average 2 per show, that would be 106, Gary.
I worked it out approximately that also. That's a really good way of doing it.
But we had one where we had all our trustees on at the time.
That was a niner.
Yeah, and I've got a wee clip for that coming up as well.
That was a niner. And as a result of the show, Andy, I've got to say, we've gained some new trustees.
We have.
And some new members.
We have.
But I mean, reach, what's our reach been? What's the numbers, Andy? You've got them in the tip of your tongue.
Oh, well, typically when we go out on each weekly chat show, we probably reach somewhere in the region of about 5,000 views of chat show, because not only do folk watch it live, and there's a number of guests on this, viewers on this evening, but then folk rewatch it. Believe it or not, they do rewatch it, and other folk watch it after hours. So we know that we get about 5,000. But of course, when Janie Godley was on, who was one of our guests, we, I think, reached over 80,000 views on.
That went silly. That went silly that night. If you add all that up, Andy, our year reach and engagement on social media has been over 250,000, which is quite stunning for a couple of humble laddies for up the scheme in Paisley that just talk a load of mince on screen. And as we say every week, every single one of the guests that have been on the show, we could talk about every single escapade and make a special comment about every single one. Every single one.
They've been brilliant, and we're going to talk about a few, because we've got a few funnies coming up tonight, Gary. And we've got a couple of, because we've had some musical guests on, so we've got a little kind of flavour of some musical guests that have been on. You've got a standout for you, Gary, and I've got a standout for me, and we'll come to that in a little bit later on. And then
the standouts for me, though, Andy, are limitless. I've found it difficult to pick one, and when I know what mine is going to be, but I will give special mention to the week that we reached Facebook jail, and not for reaching Facebook jail, but when Hugh and Cry came on that week, I found it quite astounding, actually, that those two guys who are top musicians, top artists, opened right up to us and spoke about things that I never thought they would ever speak about. Live on our show.
They did. And hold on. That was my doorbell, Gary.
You need to go. Do you want me to hold the phone again, like I did the other week?
It's DPD are delivering something. It will not be for me, Gary. You're absolutely right. Hugh Cry were just brilliant on the show, folks. So listen, folks, the ones that regularly tune in, it'd be great to hear what your thoughts over the last 12 months have been. If you've got any highlights, if there was any bits that stood out for you, any guests that were particularly brilliant, any musical performances, if you've got any great and fond memories, pop them on to social media and get out there. I know exactly.
You mentioned Hugh and Cry. They just appear. Oh no, there's somebody at the door looking for Linda.
Yeah, it's DPD driver. They're away. They're gone. So I'm oof. So
it's the Paroka.
Hey, listen, coming up, question of the week's going to be a special one because Gary.
Yes. Yes, coming up.
It's the bing bongs, Claire. Come on.
Bing bong. If it's a doorbell, it's a ding dong.
At least he's got it right.
Well, there you go. There we go.
Oh, actually, and hey, Gary, we know it is the bing bong bing bong.
I remember this one. I forgot about that. Somebody's at the door. Remember that?
Oh, that was hilarious.
Yes, and dead serious. Yes, and that was the year there was a bogus shortage.
Listen, we've got a special clip from that interview with Santa.
Oh, have we? Okay.
And we've got that coming up later on, folks. You need to tune in. I mean, there's just...
I'll be away again. I'll be away again. I will.
Online delivery for the daughter.
I wonder where Santa is just now, Andy. I mean, that'd be quite interesting if Santa was listening in. Maybe wanted to pay a wee visit.
Well, Santa, he might be in his kind of, holiday robes. He might not necessarily be in his working gear, Gary. That might be the only.
But he might be. What's the cassette things that you get when you learn another language? So he might be talking up in languages.
So exactly, sorting up in his Japanese or something like that.
Maybe.
Listen, folks, keep the memories coming, and if you want to come on tonight's chat show, it'd be a real shame if we got through the entirety of tonight and no one wanted to come on. That we would feel really lonely, wouldn't we, Gary?
Wouldn't bother me. Right, let's go. Let's move on. What's happening next?
Well, there's a link, folk. There's a link in the chat. So if you want to join us, all you need to do is click the link, and then you'll come into our black and white room, and then we'll come to you at some point in the show. So, Gary.
Anyway, why you get 4 balloons and I've only got 2?
I don't know, Gary.
Question of the week.
That was just the way that the balloons were dispersed in the house.
The balloon theory. So, Andy, sorry, I interrupted you in full flow there. You got another video for us?
That's okay. No, absolutely. Well, listen, I do have another video, and I've got several videos tonight, Gary. But we have talked about our musical moments on the show. You were mentioning Hue and Cry a little bit earlier on. Yeah. So, we've had some great guests who've come on, they've sang for us, and here's a wee compilation of some of the music-y bits and some of the wee interview bits. All
you got a montage?
It's a montage.
Is that French, Andy? A wee montage. See?
A wee montage, Gary.
You mentioned Santa and all of a sudden we're multilingual.
Well, watch out. Anyway, here's a little montage of our musical favourite bits.
Everybody smiles at you. Hey there, Mr. Blue. Where's the place to be with you? Look around, see what you do. Everybody smiles at you. Blue sky, blue sky, blue sky.
Sunny day, yeah, 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 yeah. You're my sunny day, yeah, yeah. You're my sunny day.
Promote them on Paisley Town Hall, and now to have them on Paisley Community Chat Show. Welcome, Pat and Greg from Hue and Cry.
Hello.
Gentlemen.
Where's my brother?
Gentleman.
What's that?
We get comments coming in, and sometimes we put them up on the screen. Someone suggested a sponsor for us this evening.
Oh, is this one tonight? Spotting the obvious.
I know. For God's sake.
What we like, not a head of hair between us.
One of the most interesting piece of merchandise I've ever seen at one of your gigs.
Oh, is this one, Gary?
Was this?
That's true.
I think dear. Face value, though, did you not?
Well, all I can say is recycling is a virtue. That's all I can.
Pat and Greg Kane, Hue and Cry,
Thank you so much. Thanks so much,
Thanks for
gents.
having us.
Good.
I'll play that video
And,
now, Andy.
and here's that hit. You all right, Gary?
I thought we were going in the jail again. I thought you were going to play Looking for Linda.
I know that's the one that got us into trouble. And folks, you can't have Pat and Greg Kane on from Hue and Cry and not play on a Paisley chat show and not play Looking for Linda. And when we had them on the show, we naively played the whole video.
And we kept chatting. And nobody was there.
and Warner Brothers lawyers or whoever it is just jumped right on us, and yeah, we were off. But we've had some brilliant musical acts throughout the year, Gary, have we not?
Oh, totally. Aye, and I mean the guests have come on, and we've missed a few out, not deliberately, but that's just a smidgen of some of our musical talent, and the talent pool is really deep in Paisley and connected to Paisley, and breaking new talent. I mean, that was the first time that I had met the Ladybug, and she's been on a couple of times, and she's a bundle of energy and fantastic. And Carol Lawler was on one week, if you remember, with a Small Shot Week, Andy. We missed Carol Lawler, wasn't even on that montage. She was brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and Tom was a regular guest, and Tom came on and did some regular things with us, and made up some stuff on the spot. And of course, we reprised his montage stuff that he did in his own. So it's just brilliant. But the thing with the Hue and Cry guys, just to go back on it again, we mentioned a couple of things, and they went off and started to speak about how the lockdown had impacted on mental health, and I'm thinking, did these guys know this is going out onto the internet?
Yeah,
and it was really a natural conversation. It was fantastic.
Yeah, they were really, really honest and really open with us, Gary, and
Yeah, no, nobody, take it back. Nobody said anything, Tom. Nobody said a thing about you.
And listen, there's just been so many. But what I did notice, Gary, just as we were going through that last montage of videos, is that we know that some people watch this in strange places.
Yeah. We have been told. We have been told of bubbles.
And here's a very, very short clip of one video where people watch the chat show in strange places.
Okay, go.
Hi guys, it's really great to be asked to take part in the Christmas special show. We'll be watching it every Wednesday night for months now, and aren't we so glad for it? As we near the end of what's arguably been probably the most difficult year any of us have ever experienced, just spend some time reflecting, understanding all the good things that have happened this year, and really have a nice time over Christmas. Remember, of course, stay safe. I look forward to rewatching again in the new year. Remember, of course, I always listen to you from the bath. So all the very best from myself and everybody else at Darkwood Crew.
Andy, that image had gone.
Well, the thing that caught my eye in the comments was our regular viewer from Chicago, Elizabeth, is also in the bathtub now.
That's amazing, because it's daytime out there. It's kind of midday-ish. You just got up, Elizabeth. Have you? You just got up. You got one of the wee trays across the bath.
Listen,
you got a 70s toilet with the wee tray across the bath. With your iPad sitting there.
The only thing that I could figure out was either Elizabeth is Terry started a new trend, right? Or she's in the tub with Terry.
Oh, that would be all gold.
She's in the tub with Terry. Now, we have a guest waiting in the black and white room, but we're going to come to that guest in about 10 minutes. If
I get a veto,
10 minutes.
Andy, Have I got a veto?
Go on the guest.
Aye, because I can see who it is.
It's no kind of.
I'm going to have a power of veto. If he's a total tube and he doesn't get by the BAM filter, he's not getting on.
Well, listen, we'll come to our guest. I'm sure he'll be well behaved.
As the BAM filter, mind the BAM filter. We had the BAM filter up one week, and Terry slipped by it once. Remember, Terry just slipped by the BAM filter.
Aye, well, listen, you know, we've got to kind of allow for these types of broad interactions, Gary. But we will come to our guest soon. But before we do, we're actually going to bring on one of our trustees, Annette, for question of the week. So I'm just going to click the button to bring Annette on. Are you there with us, Annette?
Hello, Annette.
Hey, happy birthday.
Oh, where's Frank?
Oh, he's here. He's celebrating.
Oh, I could hear him rattling.
Fantastic. And you've also got 2 balloons as well.
I have. Yeah, strategically placed.
Strategically placed.
Luckily placed in either elbow or whatever.
I was going to say you had a couple of options of where to place those 2 balloons, Annette, but
I decided to be discreet. But
listen,
he's looking better than he was looking last week.
Tonight is a wee surprise for you, both of you, right? So I sent out some fairies earlier on, right? And what I want you to do is just look under your desk, and you might see something.
No here, Andy. No here. No, nothing there.
Come on, Gary, look under your desk. There's a bag under your desk somewhere.
Can I look out at my door?
Oh, well, if it's in your door.
These are amazing. Can I go in?
Absolutely.
Because it's my birthday.
What we got here? This is great. Come on, then.
Okay.
Got lovely champagne.
This will be a wee interlude. Yes. So this is the food slot, folks. Got a wee food slot on the show.
Cakes, I love the cakes. These are amazing.
This is, well, listen, it wouldn't be a birthday party if it wasn't for some cake. You've got to have some cake. So hopefully you've got a cup of tea or something, but these are special Paisley. Oh, they smell amazing, don't they?
Can't wait till this show finishes, Andy. I eat my cake.
Well, yeah.
Very smart, isn't it?
Amazing.
Eddie won.
So we have cake. We have, as Eddie has quite rightly pointed out, another addition to the merch, which is quite fab. So you'll see on the cake. So I'm going to take one out, Andy. I'll take that one out. So there we have the Andy cake.
Go on.
Nay here. And then we have another one, the Gary cake.
Nay here.
Also nay here.
and then we've got.
Didn't know the cream on them.
Listen.
So Andy, I'm going to raise a vote of thanks for that to your lovely daughter Olivia, who brought the cakes and made the cakes. Actually,
she did indeed, and they are absolutely delicious. So, folks, you've not been asked to do that now.
But there's an advert. There's a 20% commission on the advert. So I've been waiting, Andy, for. We also got, as part of the wee gift package.
This is a special vintage.
And is it getting swallowed now?
Well, I think it's only about right that you have a wee glass to sip on as we're chatting through question of the week.
Let's do that. I mean, I had my merch earlier, Andy, and maybe we'll talk about merchandise in a wee while in it as part of question of the week.
Yeah, definitely.
Have you any as we're chatting about merch? Is there any plans on the off chance that we might release some?
Yes, it is indeed. Yes, we have got some designs done, and we'll put it onto Facebook, and we will be able to you'll be able to buy a PCT mug.
Limited edition.
Have you got any pictures,
No.
Andy?
No, that's the one picture I don't have, and we'll keep that for next time or through our social media.
No problems. Well, it's just going to go onto social media tonight. So £7.50 for our mug, and you can pick from 5 designs.
Does it look like that?
It does. One of them does. Yep.
It's a bargain.
Yep. And it's free postage for anyone who buys it in Renfrewshire. And also,
what about Canada? And is it free postage to Canada?
No, unfortunately, we'll have to negotiate that one.
Okay.
I'll cover the postage for Canada.
Okay, that sounds like a deal.
And then £1.50 for anywhere else. So,
cheers,
Gary. You're going to lead us off on a wee toast to everyone.
Yeah, thanks to everyone who has joined the chat show, watched the chat show, took part in the chat show, spoke about the chat show, encouraged us in the chat show. Cheers. Happy first birthday.
Cheers, folks.
Happy birthday to you.
Oh,
that's good.
That's nice. That I could go a wee cake, but
well, I'm going to munch through a cake here. I'm just going to take that off, and the good thing, and you should be used to this by now. When you come on the show, Gary and I are either drinking something or eating something.
Yeah, and I do all the talking.
and you do all the talking. So, Annette, for question of the week this week, take it away, Annette.
Okay, yeah. Well, obviously it's a big voting tomorrow with the Scottish Parliament elections on, and we actually had a fantastic response and quite surprising results, I think. So, if you want to show the pie chart just now. Okay, so as you can see, there's somebody with a huge response. So in no particular order. Well, let's go. Liberal Democrats was 1.72%. Scottish Green Party was 3.45%. Conservative and Unionist Party 4.31%. Labour and Cooperative Party 12.93%, and the Scottish National Party 77.59%.
Wow.
Huge.
Wow.
So there was a wee bit of concern around people voting and us seeing the votes, but we gave them some reassurance that we don't get to see their names or any of their details. It's just what they say, and so we're not getting any information on any of the voters or where they're from or anything like that. So, yeah, what do you think?
I make no comment or observation. I remain totally neutral. But if that's a slice through our viewership, then that's quite astounding. But social media and stuff like that and things we're involved in is quite a skew, and it's non-scientific and it's just for fun.
Yeah,
absolutely. Non-scientific survey, and you're quite right in it. The all of the information is in fact, we don't gather any information at all. We use SurveyMonkey, and you simply just select which one. It doesn't ask for your email address or whatever. So it was, and it only allows you to vote once unless you do something on different browsers and whatever. But
that's right.
Quite interesting. And of course, polling day is tomorrow, isn't it?
Yep, that's right. So this time we're not going to do a question of the week because they're going to vote tomorrow themselves. So we're going to take a wee break off this week, and we'll come back with another question next week because I think they'll be fed up voting.
Well,
yeah,
absolutely.
The question of the week, and it has been fantastic, and it's been great having you on here. And I know you were an early viewer of the show because we used to see you up in the comments, and then all of a sudden you're a trustee. And then all of a sudden you're a staple part of the show along with Frank.
Yeah. I do know, I loved the show at the beginning, and I just was obviously off work because of COVID and everything. So I was looking to get involved in something and looking to be part of something and to use my skills that I used to do before I did the sports massage, So marketing is what I used to do. So I was trying to find something to do, and if I could give that to Paisley, then why not? So it was a bit of an inspiration, a bit of a laugh. I quite liked your buzz on the shows, and so that's why I'm here, and I'm loving it. I absolutely love it. I think it's great.
Fantastic.
You're very welcome in it.
You've been really active on social media for us, which has been brilliant, and the membership numbers are going up, and of course now being part of the chat show. So Annette, it's been brilliant to have you on. Please do stick around. You've got a box of 6 cupcakes. I've had one already. Have you had one yet?
I'm going just about to have one. I have to be off screen to eat. I can't eat.
I might be biased because it was my daughter who baked the cakes, but they are delicious.
Yeah. Is the paper bit edible?
Yeah. It's all edible, Gary.
It is.
You can eat your own head, Gary, if you really want to.
Right. Okay.
Well, listen, Annette, do stick around in the black and white room. It's been great to have you on.
And I have put the mugs up on our Facebook page, so you can see the mugs, which we've got a chat show mug, the heart mug, and we've got I Love Paisley mug, and so forth. So have a look at them. If you want one, give us a shout, and we'll get that sent out to you.
Brilliant, Annette. Thank you so much. We've got everything all set up. So we're all this merch stuff. We're doing the merch stuff. So we've been building up for a year in this show just to sell you stuff. So get you.
That's not been the case at all, Gary. Not been the case.
No.
Annette, you take care. We'll see you soon, okay?
We're enjoying it. Bye-bye.
Bye,
Annette. See you later. See you later. So, Andy, we've got somebody waiting in the wings.
We've got a guest waiting in the wings. And remember, folks, if you want to come on the chat show tonight, all you need to do is click on the link that is posted on Facebook, and we'll go to our next guest, who actually is from an overseas location. And if 2 bald men with glasses isn't enough for you tonight, folks, we're going to bring on a 3rd bald man with glasses, and connected by some names. This, of course, is my brother, John.
Good afternoon, ladies. How you doing?
John, you're live to the nation. Please do not swear.
I don't know what you're talking about, Gary. Not a word would pass my lips like that.
I'm just getting the small print out there, just in case.
What, you want to cover your arse? Is that what you're saying, Gary?
I think I'm okay, John. I think I'm covered in cake. Anyway, John, cheers.
It's a good look for you, lad.
Cheers, John. How are you?
I'm good. Just sort of having a wee bit of Wednesday afternoon viewing since there's nothing else to do.
John, we have some very astute viewers.
Oh, imagine that, eh? I'm kind of surprised about that. You want me to start swearing? I'll veto that one, Gary, eh?
Dear.
So you're looking wonderful. I must say the camera does, in fact, actually add £10. And Andrew, by Christ, you need it.
I was actually looking back at some of the old clips of Chat Show, and I have noticed myself a slight thinning of my face. So it's good to have you on. And for folks who are watching and you're thinking that you've got 2 of me on the screen,
I'm the good-looking one.
You've actually got me and my older, better-looking brother. I would get into trouble if I didn't say that. So, John, you're based over in Canada. You departed Paisley back in 1998, was it?
89, Andrew.
89. I was close.
10 years 1989 I left. And I've been out here, what's that, 32 years. So
well, where are you, John, just to be precise?
I am about an hour north of Toronto, in a little town a little town called Stouffville, Ontario. So we're north. Yeah, it is. It's a never-growing community. The time to move soon. But no, it's been a good move for me. But
you're moving again. Don't are you going to tell us you're coming back?
It depends if they get sick of me or not, Gary. You know what it's like. That's why the reason I had to leave Paisley, right?
You're not coming back though, John, are you? We'll let everybody know.
Listen, Gary, you will be the first person to know that I'm coming back. I will keep you well and truly posted, Gary. Because you've got that concern and care in your heart.
Yeah, so, the population will go up by a few. I'm not saying anything else.
So, John, you've obviously
jabbing, Gary. You keep jabbing. I enjoy it. I've got broad shoulders, pal.
Yes, I'm just enjoying Olivia's lovely cake.
It's delicious.
For a minute or two.
John, I was going to ask you, obviously,
in all seriousness,
you've been connected now through social media to a lot of your old friends, to a lot of stuff that's happening in the town. I guess ultimately, do you miss Paisley, and do you like seeing what's happening in the town with what's going on right now, John?
You want you want an honest answer there, I miss Paisley. Yes, I do. I've always missed Paisley. You know, there was various reasons that I pursued another path in life. Paisley is and always will be very, very close to my heart. Unfortunately, at the point I left, there was no real future for me, and which was a sin. The people of Paisley sighed their relief, right enough, but Paisley is always very, very close to my heart, always has been, as you can well tell with my social media postings and that type of thing. I'll pay very much close attention to what's going on in the town, and always will do. The downside is I just don't live there, right? It's a path I chose. I've got no regrets about that, but you know, Paisley definitely has a lot of potential if the clever people see it, and that's taken a long, long time. You know, it's unfortunate, but you know, it's the way it is just now.
Yeah,
John.
I mean, a couple of guys like you are actually making a big impact from an outsider's point of view.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, John, for that. But can I ask you, how many miles is the Clough Fries? You know what I mean? Are you away? How many miles are you away?
Well, what is it? It's 6,000 kilometres. So whatever that is in miles.
No, that's enough. That's enough, John. That's a hell of a distance.
It keeps me away from you, Gary. It's unfortunate because I like you.
We've got Jackie loving the hats, John.
That's part of the collection. That's only a few.
Mark wants to know if you've got any numbers in front of that shirt.
I made sure they were taken off earlier, Mark. Listen, I'm quite enjoying this. I feel quite quite at home not having the hair and the glasses. It's actually, well, you know what? I'm still better looking than you two.
Well, that's just a matter of opinion. I think we should have a question of the week, and let's come back on. A question of the week: who's the most handsome? Mirror, mirror on the wall.
Well, Gary, I would need to put a hat on, right?
I'll get a hat. I've got a hat somewhere. No,
I'm not a hat. Maybe a baseball cap wearer, but I'm not a hat. So, John, what time are you at over?
That's nice, Gary. Can you pull it now? Better know you look like a KKK member. You better not pull that down. All right.
I know we don't.
What time is it? It is. Oh, jeez. It is 4:05 in the afternoon. I had my walk this morning. I went for a little nap, and I'm going to start another bit of my painting. So it's quite an active day.
Well, listen, John. Before we let you go,
are looking well.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, John. But it's back of 9, just the back of 9 here. So
and you're still up at your bed. I'm quite surprised, Gary, at your age.
Well, that's what I get nervous when there's an overrun, John, and I've got to.
You need to go to the bathroom. Yes, we know.
but
you should get the incontinent knickers, Gary. You know, you'd be all right with it. You know the ones you tie in 3 spots in your leg.
Tenor man.
for triple
Exactly.
security, Gary.
Watch out. Well, listen, John, before we let you go, it's clear, it is clear that there's only one place to watch the chat show, and it's catching on. So we hear that Terry's doing it, Elizabeth's doing it. Bathtub now, John. Off you go.
You are doing a grand job. It's good to see. I've not seen you in a wee while, but no, you are doing a grand job, and it's thoroughly enjoying to watch it from my position.
And good to see you, John. Thanks for tuning in all the way from Canada.
And Gary, I didn't bloody well swear. See, there you go. How lucky are you?
Well done, John.
Well,
Good to see you.
John, we'll see you later on. Take care.
See you later.
Bye.
Cheers,
John. Bye. We knew that we broadcast to an international audience, Gary.
And it crosses the timelines. We even go to afternoons when we're in evenings. That's astounding how that can happen.
It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Now, folks, if you want to join us tonight, we've kind of thrown away the rule book slightly in terms of time, but if you want to join us tonight, there's still a great opportunity. The links are on social media. But one of the questions I think Helena asked was who was going to sing Happy Birthday?
Aha! There's a cracking question.
But we know who's going to sing Happy Birthday, Gary, don't we?
Nobody's done it yet. Have we got any happy birthdays for this evening, Andrew?
I think I may have something lined up.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Paisley Community Trust. Happy birthday to you.
That was brilliant, wasn't it?
That's great. Really great. That was our almost our Marilyn Monroe moment there, Andy.
It was. It was.
But that was really special that Tony and Elaine took time out to make a wee cracking video for us. That was really very touching. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it was indeed. Now, Gary, we talked about guests that we've had on, and we've always said, folks, the guests make the show, the audience make the show. We love all the interaction, we love the conversation with our guests. But I know you like a particular football team, Gary, and therefore you've got a particular guest that you were quite keen that we spotlighted in tonight's episode. Tell us a wee bit about it, because I've got a video clip lined up, Gary.
Oh, have you? Well, I remember when we were starting out in the chat show, we were thinking, I wonder if anyone will come on the show. And with the football season just finished, I thought, I wonder if we could get MD for St Mirren to come on, and we could do a St Mirren week. I will contact Tony. I wonder if Tony will come on. Tony Fitzpatrick comes on the show. St Mirren legend, chief exec, captain, player, cup winner, longest serving player, just 3 times everything. I said, no problem, Gary, I'll come on. Jeez, oh man, Tony Fitzpatrick appears on the chat show and set the tone, and the guests just flowed from there.
Absolutely. So here's a wee clip of Tony Fitzpatrick being introduced by Gary Kerr. So are you ready, Gary, to introduce our guest?
Yes.
You've written it. You've got it ready, haven't you, Gary?
Well, I've wrote a few things down. I could say this if I wasn't on a show and a wee bit nervous, but so I've wrote a few things down. Right. So I'm going to introduce our first guest now, Andy.
Go for it.
Okay. Our first guest. So forgive me for reading this out.
That's okay.
Is a player at St Mirren, 2 spells at the club, captain, the youngest captain in the league football at 19. Sir Alex Ferguson's first captain at St Mirren, or one of the first, but the youngest. A manager no fewer than 3 times at St Mirren Football Club. League champions 1976-77. Scottish Cup winner, 87, youth coach, businessman, author, a street named after him, a gritter named after him. More recently, the family stand named all in his honour. We want to welcome Chief Exec, Director and St Mirren legend and all-round great guy, Mr. Tony Fitzpatrick.
How you doing, lads? Okay.
Right.
Yeah, good to see you.
Thanks
for the introduction, guy.
Did you recognise all of that?
No, really. No, it's very kind.
I probably missed a few things out, Tony.
Yeah.
Tony,
No many, but no.
It's fantastic to have you on the show, Tony, and I think we're wrestling with new technology, but if anyone needed a massive round of applause for joining our show, it ought to be you, Tony.
No, thanks, Andy. No, delighted to be on. Delighted to be on.
And Tony, that's quite a list of titles and names and accomplishments. Looking back on all of that, Tony, how does that make you feel?
Honestly, very humbled, and I'm not just saying that. As I say, everybody knows I wasn't born in Paisley by now. I was a Glasgow boy up in Postle Park, but I joined St Mirren when I was 12. I used to come through and train. And true story, as I said, is a summer's night standing at the top of the old Love Street as a young kid looking down onto that park. And I think you get this feeling at times, I wanted to play for the club. That was my ambition when I looked down. Used to train a Tuesday and Thursdays with Eddie McDonald, who used to take the training for the young players at that time. So to be able to say the things Gary had sort of mentioned there, it's just mind-boggling at times, really.
Yeah, it's quite a career, Tony. Some people are commenting already. Your fan club is tuning in. But seriously, what an achievement you've had in your career, in your life.
He is a legend, Gary.
Well, it's quite astounding, actually, when I've got to know Tony. I don't pretend to know him well or be his friend, but I've got to know him that I could contact him. And it is pinch yourself type stuff that I'm interacting on that basis with Tony Fitzpatrick, because he is such a legend. And if I've got to know him at all, I've got to realise what a magnificent person he is. He really is a fantastic guy. And he was actually that humble that he thought, he asked me, how do I get to network? What's networking about? And we went for a coffee, had a really long chat about his life and his religious beliefs and his morals and his vision for Paisley. And he's a Paisley guy, although he mentions there he's from Glasgow, and he's just bought into everything related to Paisley, St Mirren. He's just a fantastic person.
Yeah, he absolutely is. And, we were so happy to have him on the chat show, and I think that entire interview, watch it back, I think it was episode 3, so it was like the third week we were on, or the third or fourth week, Gary, that we had him on, and it was just gold. It was absolutely gold. What he gave us, such a regular, down to earth individual who has accomplished so much in his life and his career, and he's had his ups and downs, but a great guy and a great friend of Paisley Community Trust. We're blessed to have him as a supporter.
And humbly so. I mean, he really is a very humble guy, but a fantastic person.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And we know that there are some brilliant folk around the town, and they roll up their sleeves, and that's been for me anyway, that's been one of the things that I've really enjoyed about this show, is we've had some great folk on who have made us laugh. We've had folk who are relatively famous, but it's the heroes that this community has, and there are far too many to mention, because they're all brilliant in their own special way, whether they're helping groups or doing whatever that there is. But we've got a wee short clip of some, and omissions will have been made, not intentionally, but just simply because we would have to dedicate a 2-hour program to in fact, we've dedicated 52 2 weeks to the fantastic work that's
even last weekend they showed we could have had an overrun of the overrun we had last week because it was so good.
Oh, absolutely, Gary. But here's a few serious voices within Paisley.
Speaking to people, if somebody comes in the shop, all right, mate, how you doing? What's happening? I'll be speaking to them the same way because they then think that they're in their comfort zone.
Yeah.
And you know, I love being relatable like that. If someone comes in being formal, you know, I'll be the guy with the suit and tie. At the end of the day, it's a case of you know, making people feel comfortable, even when you're confronting them, even just speaking words. It's the substance and character that you hold. I'm not saying I'm trying to practice it better myself every single second of my day, but the issue is people can do that. We need to be there for one another in terms of you know, bettering ourselves. What we have that money can't buy. You know, we've got these special powers in us that we can enhance, and as soon as that happens, you know, things go smooth, and then we'll know how to maybe approach somebody. You know, there's a pillar to post nature right now. It's very hard to get people onto things that they really deserve, like be it a certain benefit or be it a certain service that they qualify for. Sometimes they don't understand that approach. Sometimes that one-to-one that they're having, they get put off. Maybe it comes within them. Maybe it becomes, you know, it's a matter of knowing how do you deal with yourself. How do you do that? It's quite deep when I talk like this, but it's very simple also if one wants to really understand that. But that's for another day.
Conversation and making sure that we can, you know, spotlight and throw a light on things, Brian. That's and you do that at your organisation in terms of Paisley.org. You spotlight what's going on in the town. You promote a positive.
Just a positive feel. Working with a girl, Kristen Ross, who has got 710,000 followers or something, but she's doing an anti-bullying thing, and it's going to be on the site very, very soon.
I think, you know, there had been you know, renewed positivity in Paisley, which was great. The bid for 2021 really motored us forward into it, and it was so disappointing that we never got it, but it did leave things in a much better trajectory, if you like, Jean, didn't it?
I think, you know, it was so good for the spotlight to be on Paisley, and I agree that, you know, since the bid, a lot of things have to happen. I can see Councillor Devine on there commenting as well that Paisley 2021 showed Paisley to the world. That's right. And what makes me happy, and I hope the council continue to do, is trust the independent creatives in this town to actually be the best ambassadors for the town. You know, the council are great supporters, but actually the innovation and the ideas and the capacity of the cultural scene in Paisley, it's second to none, and it should actually have the driving seat.
I remember that show, Andy. I was quite pleased with the way Jean opened up as well, and that's, I think, the magic of the chat show is that the guests that come on are comfortable, and maybe because they're in their own room, with their own surroundings, and they're having a chat. It's just coming on chatting with a couple of people that they know, and most of the people we know, but there is a large percentage of people that come on the show we've never met them before.
Yeah, no, we haven't. A lot of the folk that we've had on the show, we haven't met, and you know, there was something there that Jackie mentioned. They learned something new from every single show, and Jackie, you're not alone in that, because I have learned something new every single time we've had someone on to talk about, you know, the involvement that they have with the town, the work that they do with the communities, the particular passions that they have, or whatever it is, and I guess, Gary, you kind of hit the nail on the head. You know, these people are really comfortable because they're in their own homes, And that's been the beautiful thing for me about the chat show, and looking at the silver lining in the cloud that is COVID. People have been more accessible because they're available, because they're not out and about. So we've really had a sweet spot of people's time, attention and support, and it's just been wonderful, Gary.
Yeah, it has been fantastic. But there's some people we've missed out on, Andy. And we need to,
millions.
We're putting a shout out tonight. Who do you want on the show? Do you know Sean Batty? Get him on the show. And we're not going to ask again. So see if we ask you again, Sean, and you don't come on, that's it. 3 strikes.
3 strikes, and Sean Batty.
Your loss, Sean. It's your loss.
We'll need to give Heather Reid, who was the other Paisley weather person. What about Councillor Devine? How are you getting on? You were going to knock somebody's door for us, Eddie.
Aye, yeah.
We'll need to, now that the but listen, Gary, there's a whole stack of folk that we could have on, but for me, looking back, has been just, I mean, there's too many brilliant bits, Gary, that we've missed out. But there's,
if you picked a moment, Andy, what's your moment been? We played Tony Fitzpatrick there as a moment that for me, and is there one for you that we want to lead into that you thought, oh, that was extra special, I'd like to see that again?
Yeah, there's been a couple of moments, Gary, that I mean, on this show we speak with some of the best folk that walk the planet. We really do, and a lot of the work that they do actually has me. I'm quite an emotional person, and there's been a number of times throughout this program where you're truly humbled by what people are either doing or what they're talking about, their passionate subject. And one of the ones was when we had our remembrance special, Gary. You remember that one? And we
I do.
put on the black ties, and we treated the subject quite appropriately. But there was the musical piece that we played at the end, and just the thought about all these young people going out to battle and war, that had me quite emotional. But the other one was a performance by Paisley's own poet, Sean Moore, and it was this small shot piece of poetry, and I'd really love to play that now for everyone. So, settle down. Listen to this.
I remember it as well, Andy, and I didn't know what to expect, and Sean came on and he just did his thing, and it was, whoa.
It was brilliant, and the message is wonderful. So here is Sean.
Cheers. Near 170 years gone by, how can it be relevant still? Gone are the weavers, the corks and the looms, gone are the very mills. As are the coal mines that fired them, the steel works that built them, and the ships that sailed all the shores away. Industries now histories, communities broken boundaries. Does it matter, the moral of small shot day? See, back then, the learned lesson in the Paisley pattern was a people's parable, people would do well to remember. That for a fabric, shawls or society, to keep its integrity, it needs a wee threads to keep it hanging together. And even the fanciest world-famed fabrics, with celebrated aesthetics loved and lionised, unravel to bits without the input of the unseen, the unrecognised. And the fabric of society is unrecognisably altered. The Paisley and pan-global pattern changed. From when isolation was something splendid, a lifestyle choice of rulers of the waves. Through post-war pan-European peacetime to political pandemonium endemic in these present pandemic days. When the social has become the virtual, counting friendships with quick clicks in our post-industrial age. But through any historical stage, through pandemics, disasters or war, it's been a small folk on the front line. The fodder dropped in the firing line, now dropping food at your front door. In truth, not for glory nor riches nor honours, they protect, comfort and tend the herd still. Aye, those whom they entitled, betrayed and belittled, sneered at for being untrained or unskilled. Some high-hegians called it wrong, ill-advisedly. Some advisers were called out rightly on their hypocrisy. and the small folk kept it together. In 2020, the fabric of society has not unravelled from frayed. All thanks to the extraordinary, ordinary workers, the small shots in the modern day.
That's just great, isn't it? He's so. I mean, to write that with such poignancy, with such insight, with such poetic beauty and intelligence is just simply breathtaking. Breathtaking. That is artistry in its most wonderful form. I absolutely love that. And the message, Gary, reflecting, the weavers, the small shop, everything that was so important to Paisley back then, and tying it into modern day and the challenges of the pandemic and what we're all facing. And it's the wee folk that are keeping it together.
Yeah, spot on. I've got that there, Andy.
Yeah.
See,
yeah.
That's that printed out on the wall.
I have got the exact same, Gary, because you very kindly gifted me one as well.
That's it there. So it's
not in this room, but it's in another room because it is, it was brilliant. So for me, there's so many standout moments, to be quite honest, but that is perhaps one of my favourites.
And as we chat, but I've had a wee bit prosecco there, Andy, and my words are getting miscombobulated.
Well, you're not the only one, Gary, because there was someone posted something up a little. I can't even post what Jackie said, but she was getting her message, her letters mixed around with Sean.
But as we chat, I still can't say it. As we chat through the different things that have happened on the show, from a humble idea of just come on, we'll go and have a chat and shine a light on some people and maybe bring some people out from the shadows. So we tried to have a human face to some of the officers behind the scenes with the council. So that's happened.
Yeah.
So there's a warmth there of person, and every person that's been on, Andy. I mean, we could have segments of videos related to so many different subjects, but we covered them all. We've had 53 shows worth of magnificent people. And I mean, we say at the end of every show, but every single show and every single guest and group of people that we've had on this show have had a story to tell. They've done it without any ego. They've come on, they've told their story. We've asked some questions. We've been off at the tangents, and we've had a great laugh while we've done it. It's been brilliant.
We've had a brilliant laugh, Gary. And talking of laughs, we've got. I'm aware of everyone's time as well, because it wouldn't be a year special, Gary, if we didn't overrun on our overrun on our overrun.
Yeah.
So we're going to overrun very slightly, folks, but not by much, because we've got 2 videos. In fact, I'll probably get about 6 more videos that I'd love to play. But I think what we're going to do is pop them up on social media so that you can get a wee flavour of some of them. But there's 2 videos, 2 funnies that I'd like to share with you. One is some education around Italian cooking, and the other one is around the French language, Gary.
Je ne sais quoi, por favor, va bene, Bruce. Remember that film?
Oh, indeed. Well, listen, we'll go to the penultimate. The penultimate video. Did you not say you liked that word the other week, Gary?
I know what it means now, Andy. Penultimate is the one before the last one.
The one before the last one, Gary.
Just see if we left anyone hanging last week on the penultimate thing. That's what it means. It means penultimate means the one before the last one. Because Henry Kelly on Going for Gold, if you remember, Andy, he used to get his wee quiz thing out and go, and here's the penultimate question. And that's how I knew.
And that's, and you worked out, because that wasn't the last one. There was one more to go. listen, folks, we'll be winding up shortly, but we've had some fantastic John, who's been on the show. We've had some fantastic guests that are on, and yes, that's what we've been trying to do. Is just shine that light. But here's a guest that we've not seen comment before. Oh no, we've seen Elizabeth. I clicked the wrong one there. Paisley Magic Circle. Great show, guys! Congratulations. I didn't know that we had a local Magic Circle, let alone that they tuned in for the chat show, Gary.
Yeah, imagine that, Andy.
That's great. Absolutely. Hold on a wee second, Gary. I'm just going to make that comment disappear.
Whoa. You're good at this.
See what I did? See what I did there?
Really, really good. That's interesting that Magic Circle are tuning in this evening, Andy, isn't it?
Oh, it's brilliant. I didn't know we had a Magic Circle in Paisley, but there you go. So it's great.
They did a special anniversary recently.
Oh, did they? Which
Yes.
was?
I'm not going to tell you because maybe they'll come on the show one week and tell us about it themselves.
Oh, that's a good idea. We'll have the magic folk that do magic, and we'll do close-up card tricks and all that kind of stuff. That's a good idea for a show, Gary.
Isn't it just, Andy, now that you mention it?
Well, listen, folks, penultimate video for this evening. And
last one, folks, that's what that means.
We had this particular guest on, and this guest came on with Janie Godley, but the whole Janie Godley video not only is a riot, but it's just watch it online. It's great. But the person that gave Janie our big break in Paisley was Paisley's own Piero Pericini. So we're going to bring this video up of Piero as he recalls how spaghetti should be served.
But around about, can't remember when it was now, 1978, we had a chip shop and restaurant up at the West End, and it was called the Meadow, the Well Meadow Snacks. And that's where the story about the guy who, he came in and I just made a beautiful big batch of spaghetti sauce. The ragu was brilliant. Never mind this Scottish version. I'm a Scotsman, but I made good Italian ragu. And I was sitting looking at it, stirring it away with love and care. And I got an order for it, spaghetti bolognese. I said, "You're a dancer." Well, she's going to be good. So I was right there, and I get the spaghetti on, put the sauce over the top of it. In fact, I even took it out to the guy's table because I was that proud of it. So there I'm sitting there, and then one of the waitresses comes in and says, "Pierre, where's the tomato ketchup?" And I said, "Who wants tomato ketchup?"
Oh.
She says, "The guy that got the spaghetti."
Oh.
I said, "You will be fucking right." So I'm right out there, and I said, "What are you doing?" He says, "I'm putting tomato ketchup on this." I said, "No, you're no." He says, "I'm paying for it. I'll do what I want with it." I said, "No, you're no. You've no paid for it. I'm taking it back. Get out." And that's what Jeannie was referring to earlier. It's a wee story that everybody tells about me when I'm half Jake,
Aye.
But it's true, very true.
I wasn't expecting the first swearing to be off you, Piero.
I did not swear, did I?
You did not. Nobody noticed. Oh, I remember that very moment, and it was, "Piero, did you swear?" In a Janie Godley show, the first to swear
was
Piero. No one of his affronted.
I'm sure he said focaccia. I'm sure he said focaccia. I don't think he.
Aye. Right, that was a great story. And then I froze, Andy. I mean, we could have videos of our technical glitches. We could look back on all our technical glitches. The night you disappeared.
Well, that is a whole segment of videos that I fell off one night. My internet wasn't working. You likewise, Gary. You missed the end of Janie Godley, which was odd. But and the other thing, and we'll need to put this video, the Gavin Divers I mentioned earlier has been putting some videos together. So Gavin, thanks for putting all these clips together. Much appreciated, sir. And one of the videos that he's put together, and it's basically, as you know, round about sort of 7 minutes past, 10 minutes past, Gary, I get a cup of tea. So he managed to put together all of these video clips we'll not show that tonight, folks, but we'll put it up on social media, or we'll maybe show it next week, because again, it's another fantastic video that was put together for us.
Yeah, but essential viewing for tonight, Andy, is one of my highlights and the funniest ever guest that we had on the chat show, which was it was really, really funny because it was so unexpected. A really special moment that we had just before Christmas. We invited, and we're really, really so honoured and fortunate that Santa Claus came on the show. And we learned so much. I mean, we even learned something about our provost's deprived Christmas gifts. and it became, we didn't know this. And it all came out because Santa told us about this shortage. There was a shortage. We didn't know. And I'm hoping that's in the video, Andy. And I'll have to tell everyone about it.
Well, listen, the entire video is available online. So if you go onto YouTube, folks, go onto YouTube, type in Paisley Community Trust, and you'll see all of our videos. In fact, Gary, that was one of the things that caught your eye this week, wasn't it?
Yeah, did that. Have you got that there?
All that. I mean, that is all of the videos that we've put up over the course of the last 12 months. So jump onto our YouTube channel, just type in Paisley Community Trust in YouTube, and you'll get them all. Watch back the entirety of our Christmas special, because Santa was utterly hilarious.
Very, very funny.
But in the aim for a degree of brevity, we got a short clip cut out, which was one thing about Santa that it was just amazing to see in practice, Gary, wasn't it?
Yes, his multilingual skills were something that, I mean, as we said, we learned something new on the show, and I didn't know, and I should have known, because Santa travels the world over.
Absolutely.
In all these different languages, and he came on and he gave us a flavour of his skills.
Well, here it is, folks. And Santa, we know that you speak all the languages under the sun, all the languages on earth, and you also do all the accents. So tonight you're putting on a Paisley accent so that we can all understand you, because there's Nicola there saying we've got a Scottish Santa, but you're truly international. Is that right, Santa?
Of course, I'm truly international. I can say, je ne sais quoi. That's French. Donner and Blitzen. Not only is that my reindeer, that's German.
My goodness, Santa, yeah.
Au contraire.
You're speaking French now there, Gary. Now, I do remember you being in the naughty step before. There was something about doors.
Sorry, Santa, I was play for a minute there.
So Santa Gary was in the naughty list, is that right? For his door thieving.
Listen,
so you do remember me, Santa?
Oh.
That was so funny. So if you don't remember the punchline to the shortage, our provost and I think it's a provost and another member of our family got one pogo stick between them, and Lorraine had always wondered why they get one pogo stick between them, and Santa came on, right, the way he was, pan face, dead straight, and went, "Oh, I remember that well, Lorraine. I remember it really, really well." That was the year there was a pogo stick shortage. Oh dear.
Oh dear.
I've got to know Santa over the intervening months, Andy, and he's a top guy, Santa.
Absolutely fantastic for Santa to join us. And I still, with that whole pogo stick shortage as well, not only did we learn French that night from Santa, but the pogo stick shortage gave us a kind of image of the provost and our sister, whoever it was, on one pogo stick together. Giving it a go down the street.
Oh dear. That was good. So, but we've had some amazing moments on the show, Andy. Too many to mention. Too many videos to squeeze in. This would have been 5-hour retrospect reprise of the chat show. And I think it's been great to be involved in, Andy. Never mind the guests that we've had. We've had a ball.
We absolutely have, Gary, and you're right about the clips. I mean, I'm just looking here. The Panto special that we had with Pace was brilliant. We had a cook along with Helena. We thought Cat was on the menu for a moment there, but there've been a whole raft of brilliant folk guests that have been on the show, and I think what we've also, Paul, go for it. Provost Pogo Stick fundraiser. I like the sound of that, but I think also, Gary, not only have we met some amazing people, and not only have we learned an awful lot about what's going on in our town, and there's never been a show that's gone by that we haven't been completely humbled by the guests because of what they do. But also, I have to say, the audience and all their social media comments, it's just kept us going week after week, because we know that you enjoy the show, you contribute to the show, and you're as important as the guests, the cast, the crew, and everyone else that's involved.
Yeah, absolutely. And if it wasn't for comments like that at opportune moments,
Tom, get Geldof on the phone. Have you not got a mid-year, Gary? You know mid-year. Can you not phone up mid-year and do they know it's Christmas? Needs an extra Pogo verse in there.
I'll see what I can do.
Give him a call, Gary.
That would be something.
Brilliant.
One last go at that single.
Well, exactly. I think maybe we could get, I'm sure Lorraine's got a lovely singing voice. She could do her and Bono could do the bit about the Pogo Stick or something.
He's a cracker. Oh dear, yeah. Hey, there we go. So if you've got a Pogo Stick in your back cupboard, what we're announcing this evening is a Pogo Stick amnesty. So we're bring out your Pogo Sticks, get them down to wherever we're going to announce that you bring them down to. That we're just making up just now, but there'll be a place that you can take your Pogo Sticks, and the provost is going to select the best one and go back in time, and then we'll have a sponsored Pogo around the town.
We'll need to do that. Look, Terry. Terry's got the brass
Terry's
neck.
Cakes.
Well, Terry's got the brass neck. Terry, we gave you a slot on the show. We saw you in your bath about half an hour ago.
His ears must have been burning.
His ears must have been burning. He must have had an extra long bath tonight or whatever. But yeah, you missed the cakes, Terry, but we'll maybe keep you one.
No, we'll know. If you arrive late, you get hee-haw.
Hee-haw. Well, listen, Gary, what a fantastic show it's been this evening. Who would have believed it? 1 year down the line, and we've looked back at some of the highlights and some of the serious moments and some of the musical moments, some of the funnies. And that's just been the year that's gone. But we've got a whole host of folk that we haven't even spoken to yet, Gary.
Yeah, we have. And I think reflecting on the year, Andy, I was thinking earlier of how we might end the show, and I think I'm going to end the show by saying we're nearly out of this. Fingers crossed. The signs are that we're releasing ourselves back into society. I don't think it's slow, actually. I think I've noticed that we're getting back out there, and we're being careful, but we're getting back out there. And very soon we're going to be able to see all our families again, all our friends. We'll be able to go to the cinema. We'll be able to get down to the pub, out for lunch, meet each other in proper meeting rooms. Fingers crossed. And I'm looking forward to that. And I'm now looking forward. So that's a really cracking retrospective of the year, which we hope has brought a bit of normality to you on the screen on a Wednesday evening. We've enjoyed it. We've learned so much. We've met some fantastic people. And I do know that down the side here that you've met each other as well, and that's a buzz for me. That's just fantastic that has also happened.
Sure.
And my thanks to Andy, actually, for being my co-host on the show, pressing all the buttons and getting me my first Scott Vic module in the StreamYard world. It's been a fantastic thing to be involved in. I want to thank everyone involved in Paisley Community Chat Show, everyone that's tuned in, everyone that's joined us. It's been fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely, Gary, and thanks right back at you. It's been an absolute pleasure to sit alongside you every single week and
Cheers,
just
Andy.
chat about some of the stuff that goes on in the town. Chat to some amazing people and well, I was going to say entertain, but that might be a stretch of the definition, Gary. But you know, at least provide a bit of a kind of light relief from some of the gloom that's been out there, Gary. But listen, folks, this is not goodbye, because we are planning more shows. We hate to tell you, and when we get out there, well, we might just be in some form of roadshow or something like that when we're out in the real life, Gary. You just never know.
Yeah, I mean, it might not be goodbye, Andy, and in the spirit of Santa, it's just au revoir.
Ho, ho, ho. Well, listen, folks, thank you so much indeed for joining in this evening. I hope you have a wonderful evening. The rest of your week is fantastic. And we'll see you same time, same place next week on Facebook and YouTube.
Yeah, thanks, everyone. Tune in next week for another Paisley Community Chat Show. See you all soon. Bye.
Good night, folks.